dedicated to continue.
That would be horrific.
Very good.
Thanks.
Well, mine is a bit short.
No, that's fine.
Compared to yours.
Mine was just lots of stories, to be fair.
So, I'm going to talk about the lovely job that cashew nut workers have.
Oh, God. I do love a cashew, though.
Yeah, but I'm going to tell you about the process of producing it.
Is it slave? Do they get paid?
Not well, no.
That's the thing. Sorry, they get paid a lot.
They do?
Yeah, I didn't write it down, but they do get paid a good salary.
Do you know how much?
It was something like obviously more than us.
Anyone gets paid more than us.
It was like dollars. You keep talking and I'll put it up on the site. It was something between like $100, that $100,000 and something else.
That's pretty good. I like that.
But fair enough.
Anyway,
so sorry.
So, cashew nut workers. I thought I'd give you a bit of background where cashew nuts come from. It's going to be a bit of a history lesson.
What is it? Sorry.
Make a guess. Where do you think
I wanted to guess, but I'm going to get it so wrong.
No, it's fine.
Okay. Brazil.
Yes.
Stop.
But I'm mostly focusing on the workers who are in India, Southeast Asia. So cashew nuts come from cashew trees, and they originate in Brazil, India.
I was right.
Yep.
Come on.
So I was right. India and Southeast Asia. So there are plants, cashew plants in
Vietnam?
Thailand, Vietnam, yeah. But the largest producer of cashew nuts is India. So
right.
60, I think.
But they have the trees, so they have more trees in India than they do in Southeast Asia.
Yeah, in the other countries. So yes, India is the largest producer of cashew nuts, and they produce more than 60% of cashews consumed globally.
Globally, everyone.
Globally.
Did you get that? Globally.
Globally. So for cashew
nuts.
Wait,
sorry, can you say that again? Because I feel like I didn't listen. That didn't come into my head. So how much do they produce?
60% of cashew nuts that are consumed around the world. So,
and you think how many nuts that actually is?
That's a lot.
Jesus, that's a lot of nuts.
It is. So, cashew trees produce a fruit which looks a bit like a long bell pepper.
Yeah.
And then dangling at the bottom is the cashew seed. And inside that cashew seed is the nut. So you have to go through a lot of shelling and skinning to actually get to the nut.
Their fingers must be so sore.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. So cashew trees, they normally, like traditional cashew nut trees, they take about 3 years to grow for it to be able to produce fruits. So it's a long process.
4 years.
3 years.
Sorry, 3 years.
3 years. And then you have to wait for the fruit to become ripe so you can pick the fruit off.
Right.
Or you can wait.
So they don't fall, they
can fall down and they can pick them up like that. But people can use the fruit for jam or could just eat it raw.
Oh.
Yeah. Apparently it's
That's
really
actually
sweet.
really interesting that it's like you wouldn't think that it was coming off of fruit.
No. So
but
when I
searched
this, I thought, wow, I didn't know it was from fruit. I don't know how.
We are educating you.
Yeah. This is better than Disney, I guess.
Yeah.
Don't worry about buying Disney Plus. Just go on our podcast.
This is better than Disney.
Yeah. So they pick the fruits when the cashew apples, that's what they're called, the fruits, cashew apples turn red, or they can collect them when they fall to the ground.
And is it seasonal? Is it all year round?
I think that it's seasonal. I think from a couple of months like March to May is when it's picking season. But don't quote me on that.
No, but they must dread that month coming up.
Yeah, I'm sure they do. So how they harvested, so like I said, you could pick the fruits from the trees or you could pick them up from the ground. And then they separate them by just twisting the fruit and the
And
seed
one
out.
nut per seed, one per fruit.
Yeah.
God. So
So
if you think you buy those little packs like that,
yeah.
and you can get a jumbo bag, can't you? And then you get like mini ones. There's probably about 8 of them. Eight little. No, but you know when you get those,
Yeah.
and they cost about £2.25. Sorry, not the packets, the little pots that you get as like part of a meal deal.
Oh, those are tiny.
Yeah, but there's probably 8 in there,
Probably.
and that's 8 fruit.
Just think about the plantations. They've got to be huge to even be able to rack in a good, decent
That's actually a joke.
amount of profit. So then these seeds are transported to a cashew nut factory where the cashew nut is extracted. So this is the most laboursome part of the process. So you've got the cashew seed and I think you've got about 2 layers of shells, and then you've got the skin around the cashew nut.
So this is where you in Charlie the Chocolate Factory, where those squirrels are working through those nuts. The new one.
I think so.
Oh, you don't, because you'd have got it.
Is that the one with Johnny Depp?
Yeah, you know when they're in that nut thing and they're like all whacking the nuts and they're all falling down there. That's where you really want to have it.
But this is even harder because once these nuts or the seeds get transported to the cashew nut factory, they have to heat it at a very high temperature
to get rid of the skin,
so that so it's easier to de-shell. But one thing that's dangerous about cashew seeds is that they contain anacardic acid, which is caustic. Caustic. C-A-U-S-T-I-C. It means it can burn or corrode tissue.
So our tongues, face, mouth, anything. Yeah. So how do they get rid of that then? Who's gone through all this process to begin with to eat that first nut?
Someone who's desperate. A very desperate person who's dying of hunger.
They probably ate that first one. There would have been a man who fell. Or woman.
Think so. It's a very hard shell. That's why they have to heat it at a high temperature.
But then it still has this
anacardic acid. Yeah. And these de-shelling and the removing of the skin of the cashew nuts are majority done by hand. Are cashew nut shellers. So think about
how many of them are there? Like, did it give you is it a lot of people?
There can be. So when I watched this YouTube video, it was from, was it Air France? No, France 24. I think that's what the channel's called. And the factory that they were interviewing in, I think they had about 150 workers.
Okay.
But they were just, it's not, a factory in England.
No.
You've got women who are sitting on the floor, hunched over. Some of them not even wearing shoes or anything. They're not wearing gloves, and I'll get to that in a minute. But they're hunched over, they're cracking these nuts with no protective equipment.
No, that's like severe.
And that's for hours on end a day.
That's a bad job.
Yeah.
You hit the nail on the head.
Exactly. Definitely a bad job. So, de-shelling is done by hand, and due to the anacardic acid between the 2 layers of hard shell surrounding the actual nut, the workers tend to suffer burns to their fingers.
Because it burns through tissue.
And their hands. And they're not wearing gloves because most of these factories, the employers don't supply the gloves. So if they want gloves, they will have to pay for them.
And they can't.
They can't afford it because these people are choosing these jobs because they don't really have anywhere else to work.
No.
So it's like a last resort for a job.
I feel bad complaining about.
They are expensive nuts, but if you think about what goes into
that won't. Just because they're expensive won't mean it goes to them, though, does it?
No.
So bad.
It doesn't go to them. So, and another reason why they don't wear gloves, because most of these workers who work in these cashew nut factories, they're being paid by their productivity. So they
this
get paid.
Like at Amazon.
Yeah, they get paid by a kilo. So think about how big a kilo is, and they're shelling these nuts.
They're getting paid per kilo.
Most of the time, yeah, per kilo, paid by the volume. So if many of them don't wear gloves because it just slows them down. And if they're getting paid by how many they de-shell,
they'll take their burns.
Yeah, they rather take the burns than take less pay because they're already getting paid little anyway. So they don't choose to wear them. And their salary typically range around maybe £2 a day or €3 to €6 a day.
You can't even buy a pot of cashews for that.
No.
And they've ducking done all that.
But this is what's happening in
a lot of places as well.
India, Vietnam, Thailand.
It's like the rice farm workers I saw when I went travelling, and that was just like bad.
It's all hunchback, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's also all the diseases that are in the water. I had to get like loads of vaccines for this particular mosquito. I can't remember what the vaccine is called now, but it's like a really long name and it just paralyses you.
Oh, crikey.
So it's just like luck of the draw.
So yeah, they don't get paid much. They don't have any protective equipment or gear. And in one of the interviews conducted by France 24, a worker told the reporter that the acid burns they receive on their fingers turn their hands and fingers black. So it's
like actual burn.
Actually black.
Like fire was
if you watch this video, which I'm gonna link on our website, you can see that the most majority of their hands have turned black from just de-shelling these cashew nuts.
Bless them.
And because they're hunched over and just cracking these nuts,
they all have they've got back problems.
They will have back problems as well. But this worker said that her eyes burn because of the acid reflecting.
No, that's blindness as well.
Yeah, she's saying that her eyesight has gotten worse, and at night she feels feverish to the point where she can't sleep, and that's due to the effects of the anacardic acid.
So is that a side effect then you feel?
Yeah, from the de-shelling of those nuts. So the conditions they work in is really poor, and like I said, they sit in this position at the same time, hunchback, cracking the nuts, and they're on the floors.
Sorry, it's really. I was just. I'm back.
You're back. Good to have you back. So terrible conditions, and like I said in that video that I saw, they were just on cold concrete floors, no protective wear. So it's not like your British workers working in a factory.
No, like I was complaining about Amazon last week.
At least in factories, any kind of.
So they provide you even with gloves during.
Yeah, hairnets.
Yeah.
Probably even shields now, shields and masks.
Yeah, they would have all the PPE. They wouldn't be having that, especially with what's going on in India at the minute. They'd probably still be working.
Yeah,
they'll have to
because they're poor.
Yeah, and people, the demand for the nuts is probably still, it's not going to get there.
Yeah, the demand has increased, but I don't know if it's dropped a bit due to Corona. Who knows? But these workers don't have a steady income because they don't get paid.
They don't get the same each day, do they?
They don't get paid a fixed rate.
Who owns these kind of factories?
It'll be the people from the people who owns the plantations as well.
Okay, so then
or maybe
so the hierarchy would be like the big nut business owners, like in England or wherever. Yeah. Then it would go then, I guess, plantation. Obviously, there's people in between plantation people. Then it would be someone that owns like the actual specific factory, and then the workers.
Owners. Yeah, it could be one owner for the plantation, then one owner for the factories. Yeah, so they don't have a steady income. They've got no pension.
I don't know if you can hear that.
I think it's
it's a
because of the
helicopter.
helicopter.
Sorry, that actually did scare me. I thought, I can't
Get
go.
under!
Not on the podcast.
Get
Who's
down!
going to do my makeup? You better do it well.
No, you better opt for cremation, love.
Open casket. Anyway,
No.
carry on.
So no pension, they don't even get paid holiday pay. And in the UK, even if you're working a temporary job, you get holiday pay.
Yeah.
But these people, they don't really have a contract.
So they don't get holiday pay. If you're not working, you're not working.
Yeah. And we can do things to sort of better support these people, but there's not really a lot out there.
Plus, you don't see it.
You don't see
pay, and you don't see the change. They'll go, oh yeah, they're now really happy.
But they could be lying.
And then, yeah.
Most of the time, they could be lying.
Yeah, that's why I just don't trust some of these like charity. I don't know. I sponsored a child once, and it was like in India or whatever. And I can't remember the company, and I'm not going to obviously name them, but it just seemed really
Shady.
like, oh, this is the picture she's drawn for you, and this is the letter she's written for you, and I was like, and it all came really quickly, and I was like,
they got the
just
stockpile.
Yeah.
They've got the stockpile of drawings.
But that's another topic. But I just
we could do that. Child labour.
You're back in the World War II, I think, or World War One, like the chimney sweeps.
Oh yeah,
that was actually really bad. I know they're like in Mary Poppins, all dancing around and happy.
But in real life, they're not dancing around.
They're
coughing. They've probably got lung disease.
Yeah. Well, there's loads of people now that claim on insurance to do with their lungs from like dated back, like elderly people, because
but also
because they worked in factories that didn't have any.
Bouncing off of that, 911, not 911, 9/11, sorry. 911, hello, emergency services.
911, hello.
9/11, so the emergency workers who were working at Ground Zero, so when it all came down and they were trying to see if there's any survivors under all the rubble. But because of all that dust, their lungs
were just damaged,
deteriorated. So people from 9/11 are still suffering from the effects of that day.
Sorry for the people that watch on YouTube.
We'll just have to cut it short, the YouTube.
Yeah. Oh, we can film the rest.
Sorry, guys. So many technical difficulties.
Yeah. Let me just balance it on here.
Actually, I can probably do it on my phone.
Oh, don't worry. Okay. Sorry, today is just not our day. Right, let's hope that's all right. Okay. Carry on. Sorry, Winnie. So many interruptions.
Damn it. Technical difficulties. So, you could buy fair trade cashew nuts. So, fair trade certified. They basically make sure that the working conditions are suitable, that the workers get.
So sorry, it says fair trade on there.
Yeah, so you can go to your local supermarkets and they would have packets of my favourite. You could buy cashew nut packs, and
little pots or whatever.
Yeah, and some of them would say fair trade certified, so you could buy them and sort of help out a bit, and make sure that you're supporting companies and factories that are encouraging good working conditions and decent pay for its workers. But
not by the kilo, like by the hour.
Yeah.
Do you have something like that would, I know because put it this way, people are reluctant to do per hour in some places, factories or whatever, because they know that people will just dilly-dally and go, I'll stay an extra hour but not actually do anything. Mm-hmm. These people will actually work hard for you.
Yeah, because
they need the money. They're not going to just skive off.
No.
It's a completely different culture.
They've got bills to pay, they've got families to support.
Yeah, whereas you just get people that just go, worked so hard today, but what? You just sat
on the toilet on your phone.
Who are you talking about?
Only 3% of cashews sold on the world markets are fair trade certified. Only 3%.
Well, this goes back to this is a very different topic, but a lot of with the Seaspiracy, a lot of the not fair trade, but a lot of the dolphin safe, whatever,
Mhm.
they are not.